Hey guys, I'm here to talk to you about one of my favorite finishing tools again, and this one is my tumbler. So what a tumbler does is it really helps with that last and final finishing step. Once your pieces are all refined and looking good, you can give them a polish. You can either do that on something like a buffing wheel, which requires compounds, or you could use something like 3M radial discs, which are great and don't require compounds, but this is an even easier way to do it. You physically don't have to do anything but start the machine. So I've got two teardrops here that are necklaces, and I don't know if you can tell, but they have a little bit of a satin finish to them. They have been sanded up to 600 and they are now ready for their final polish. So I'm going to stick them in my tumbler. Okay, so let's get these guys tumbling. In the barrel here, I have a little bit of water. I'm gonna go ahead and add my steel shot. These are all just little stainless steel pieces that are all different shapes. Some are round, some are oblong, some have little bits of points on them. That helps to get into all the different little crevices. There we go. And I have a little bit too much water here. You can see I've got quite a bit extra, so I'm just gonna pour it off. I usually like about a ½ inch to 1 inch or so of water covering over the top of the shot. So next you need to add your burnishing compound. This is the one that I'm using, Sunshine Burnishing Compound. I got it from Rio Grande. I put it in this handy little squirt bottle so I don't have to open it and measure it and deal with it. So I just put in a squirt, and then you just toss your pieces in, put the lid down, get that snug, and then get that situated on the tumbler itself. It has a little switch here, but what makes this even better is I have it set up on a timer, and I can set this for 1 hour to run, or I could do 2 hours or however many hours I want, and it'll automatically shut off when it's done. So there she goes. She's gonna spin for about 1 hour, and then my pieces will be all finished and ready to go, nice and shiny. The tumbler just stopped running, so I'm about to open it and see how our pieces turned out. Yay! Get some of this compound off. Look at that. Nice and shiny and polished, and I didn't have to do any of the work. The tumbler did it for me. One of the things I forgot to mention is that you shouldn't put stones in your tumbler. If you are going to be using your tumbler, you should use it on the piece before you go to set the stone. There are some ways to mask the stone, either with masking tape or rubber cement, but that will be a risk that you would be taking to potentially harm the stone. So fair warning, I don't put any of my stones in the tumbler, but some people do. It's up to you. You have to test it and use your best judgment. Okay, so I wanted to take a second to tell you guys a little bit more about tumbling in the general sense. I have shown you one step for polishing, but there are thousands of different ways that you can use tumblers, and there's all different tumblers. The one I showed you is a rotary tumbler with steel shot and burnishing compound, but you could maybe have a rotary tumbler with a rubber barrel, or you could have a vibratory tumbler, or you could have a magnetic pin tumbler. These are all different tools, and depending on what you're trying to accomplish, you need to pick and choose the tools that make the most sense for you. Different things that tumbling can help with are cleanup of castings, maybe sanding and refining surfaces, polishing surfaces. These are all various different types of things that your tumbler can help with, and based on what you're trying to do, you have to pick the tumbler that's best for you. This is a really handy guide. It's a super easily read, nice and short. I got this book from Rio Grande, and it has helped me immensely to learn about tumbling and where I fit in the scheme of tumbling and mass finishing. So highly recommend it. If you're interested in tumbling, this would be a really great resource for you. It's cheap, easy to read.